I know. Haircut, bro. Damn. About 8 months ago, I knew nothing. So, about 8 months ago, I knew literally nothing about marketing. Fast forward to yesterday, I've now hit my first 5K month. Now, I don't want this to be a bragging type of thing. I don't want this to come off as, oh, I'm this hot shot, I'm this rich guy now. No, but like, all I want to say is that this is the first time doing this process, putting in this work, and the inputs actually led to outputs, and things are starting to feel real. So, just a little bit about me. My name is Pope from CVR Pope, obviously. I'm a 20-year-old college student. I'm a sophomore. And I mean, at this point, you guys have seen some of my vlogs. You guys have seen some of my friends hanging out and just like going on some adventures, which I obviously love to do. But this is just me being able to talk to you guys, keeping you all updated on what's going on behind the scenes, what I really do for work, what I'm trying to build out, and how I'm doing it. So I wanted to switch this up a little bit just because this is the best way you guys can really connect with me. You guys can hear my mindset, my worldview and stuff like that in my vlogs, but this is where you really get to see what goes on, what I do in the background. So yeah, basically 8 months ago, I was at absolutely zero. I was in my freshman summer. I didn't have an internship. Everybody else was getting them, and I was like, I need to get up and do something. I wasn't doing nothing, but I knew that I wasn't doing as much as I could have been. That was one of the biggest things, and I picked up marketing because I have this mentor from my school that I go to now, and he introduced it to me. He said I should try it out. He thought it would fit me. It's a really nice blend of both creative and the business world, but I was convinced I was going into finance, and the only reason I thought that was because, I was really just following what everybody else was doing, Everybody else at my school was going into finance, so I was like, I have to go into finance, right? Private equity, that sounds like me. But the more I was going to things, the more I realized that it wasn't really my style, wasn't really my speed, and he reached out to me. We got on a call, we started talking, and then it just all clicked after that. I didn't know everything after that call, but it definitely got me started. It got me interested. It got me to actually understand what it was, and I think that was the biggest thing. But I still didn't understand how brands grow. I didn't understand how you could actually get people to buy. I didn't understand how ads work. I didn't even know how to process a payment for my first few months. Those first 2 months were all about just studying, learning, understanding what the field was, and just getting a good idea of it. It was pure curiosity. Yeah, nothing built out. I didn't have any clue of what I was doing, and I didn't even know if what I was working on really was going to work. I was just enjoying what I was doing, and it gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of things to do, so I continued to work at it. And something I've noticed from my past 8 months doing this, I'm sorry if you guys, my voice is a little off. I'm coming back from being sick, but yeah, the first thing that I really noticed was how my mindset would switch when, scrolling on social media, whether that's Instagram. I don't really use TikTok too much, but TikTok, X, YouTube, like anything. Not only looking at the ads that would play before, after, during a video, but, looking at the video itself. How do people really grasp towards these audiences? How do people really resonate with different creators? And I became obsessed with that, not only because I want to build out my own brand, but also because I was just purely interested, and I wanted to help other people who are looking to do that, help do that. That's why I think one of the biggest things is would stop me, and I really want to push past that. But I really tried to switch my mind from, just scrolling on Instagram, getting annoyed by ads, getting annoyed by sponsorships, promotions, things along those lines, to really trying to analyze those and try to understand everything I could, because, like I said, I knew nothing. The baseline was zero. So any little information I could pick up, these little commonalities in these different ads and campaigns and things along those lines, I thought were really useful to me, and I thought it was really interesting for me personally. But like at the end of the day, that's not what really helped me understand everything. I think really just doing the research, taking the time, reading over things and asking questions Luckily, I had someone to ask, but if you don't, you can go around. This is for any industry, but I recommend just either reaching out to people. You can reach out to random people. People are way more willing to help than a lot of people assume. So just going out, reaching out to people, asking for help, I think could take you a long way. If it doesn't, I mean, you could always Google things, you always look things up, and honestly, just try to figure it out yourself. When it comes down to that, it comes down to that. So yeah, a lot of those months were built with constant learning, constant adapting, constantly having to understand different things. And during that entire time, nothing really felt impressive. Nothing really felt like I was doing a crazy amount. It felt like I was working on a school project, you know, like, but there was no grade. It was all based on myself. There was no due date. There was no time to turn things in. Everything was just, you know, on my own whim. I had to be accountable to that. And I thought, and I did a pretty good job at keeping myself accountable. But I mean, during those times and during now, even, it feels slow. Like a lot of stuff is messy. You know, I build out a system, restart it, and then retest things, and just constantly have to go over and go over and go over again because of how off the overall, like how off I was. You know, I thought I knew something, I thought I had an inkling. I would test it and it was completely off. So just those constant feelings of being unclear, you know, actually questioning if like what I'm doing right now is going to be what is going to stay, you know. So that was one of the biggest things, was, you know, trying to overcome that doubt. You know, what I'm doing is real, what I'm doing is meaningful, and I'm taking a step every day and not just like moving in place. And then also just being able to sit down, you know, learn, work at your desk, you know, continue doing things when you don't see that reward immediately was one of my biggest things. And it's something that I normally struggle with, and it was one of my biggest hurdles I was trying to get over, and I'm still working on getting over, in all honesty. It's just being able to show up every day. And it's not easy, but I mean, it's by far the best thing you can do, right? So eventually, once you keep doing that, once you keep showing up every day and you keep working, you keep continuing on, you will start to see results from those things. So even if I wasn't seeing money come in those first few months, you know, I was seeing like, man, now that I sit down, I'm scrolling on an ad, I can tell you exactly what audience this person is pushing to, what they're trying to get out of it, you know, what's their like key KPI, what's like what are they trying to go for basically. But I got a better grasp of everything, you know. It wasn't just specifically running ads. It was instead, now I like really understand how ads work together. And now I can like start to build out campaigns, if you know what I'm saying. So it starts to feel less just like, man, this is interesting, this is cool. You know, I like learning about this, to, damn, like I can actually use my knowledge to help others and like be valuable to others. That was one of the coolest switches. I think was one of the biggest switches I've had in these past few months, was really going from, okay, like I've been on this learning curve for this long, and now I finally feel comfortable enough where I can offer my services to somebody. I think I understand this. I think I understand my niche enough. I think I understand what I'm doing enough, you know, my area, things along those lines. I think I understand enough to really be able to tell people that what I do now is going to be of value to them. And I think that's the biggest reason why this month meant so much to me, going from that switch of, man, I can actually sell this, to, holy hell, I actually sold this, you know? And obviously that money matters. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for my first $5,000 month. But the bigger thing that really hit for me was that this isn't really imaginary anymore. You know, this is something that is tangible and I was really able to make happen. It made me feel validated in the most honest way for doing the stuff that I was doing. You know, those 8 months finally culminated into something, and now I feel like, man, this could really be something, instead of just having to go off of pure faith. I have results to back it up. Again, I'm not trying to say that I'm just grabbing this 5 bands, you know, I learned it 2 weeks ago and now I'm just trying to get out. This is the first time that this felt like the milestone that I wanted to hit. And this is what I've been working to for those past 8 months. But if there's any specific time throughout those 8 months when I can tell you what I've seen in myself change and what I think were my biggest factors were, you know, like I said earlier, it's just being able to show up every day. And even if I wasn't able to show up to my 100%, I was able to try to get as close as I could. So there's days that I just really, you know, I got down on my desk, you know, I wanted to sit down, I wanted to open my laptop, do research, you know, start looking at brands, start reaching out, things along those lines. And I'm like, I just don't feel like doing this, like in the nicest way. Like I just didn't want to do it. But those are the most important days where you have to do those things. You know, if you do the hard days, you can always do the easy days, right? And I also think with those reps brings attention. You start paying attention to detail. You start understanding why things work. You start understanding why things didn't work that you tried out. You start to learn to not trust your assumptions as much and more or less go off of what the data says or what the information says. So you change your mindset there, which I thought was one of the biggest switches that got flipped for me. Finally, is trying to actually push my value instead of just trying to gain money off of people. You know, it's much easier to sell somebody off of telling you the value you're going to provide versus, you know, my service charges this much or whatever, you know, like I can give you the cheapest price. And I learned that. And in all honesty, I don't look to gain the largest amount of money. I'm honestly working to provide the most amount of value, because I think I have a firm belief that that's the way that businesses should be ran, is that you're, at the end of the day, trying to give to the consumer. You're trying to give to the client, whoever you're working with, whether it's a business, whether that's a consumer. You are trying to work and give them success as well at the same time while you receive it. Entrepreneurship, in my opinion, is not just value extracted, but you're also giving value as well. So really trying to hone in on that and making sure that I'm giving as much value as I'm receiving, I thought was really important. Yeah, so again, I don't want to act like I know everything. I don't even know if I know. I wouldn't even say I know like a crazy amount, but this is not a fake 8 months. This is not something that I've just started or anything along those lines. It's something that I'm currently working on. I'm going to continue to work at to get better and just continue to increase that value. But that's what I think the culmination of this YouTube video and this YouTube channel as a whole is going to really be. You know, it's a snapshot into my life. You know, we get to go on fun trips, fun adventures with some of my friends. We get to do some really cool stuff, record it all, get to chop it up and give it to you guys. But it's also me not trying to fake that I've already made it. I haven't. This is my first $5,000 month. But I want this to be a place where you guys can grow with me and we can continue to grow exponentially. I'm literally just a guy recording himself at his desk in his college dorm room, documenting everything. I'm still building, and I'm still in it. I'm still living it. So I still go to college. I still go to school. I still go to the gym, work out, you know, and it's a progress. It's a process, sorry, but it's going to take time. I'm going to continue to work at it. But yeah, you know, like I said, I'm still early. I'm still trying to figure out everything. I definitely don't have the biggest understanding of marketing, entrepreneurship, you know, anything along those lines. But I did want to get this out now because I do feel like this is a really important milestone to me. Something where, again, like this is actually starting to feel real now, and something where I'm proud enough to get it out to you guys, where I want to present it and share it to you guys, because I think you guys deserve to know. So I'm excited for one. I've had a successful first 8 months and I've had my first $5,000 month. I'm excited for that, but I'm also excited for the future. I'm really excited to grow with you guys and see you guys in another 8 months to see how far I am. But I'm also excited to look back at this in the next 8 months, you know, year, 2 years, 10 years, and see the seed, the where this all started out, and the actual first milestone where this all felt real. So, I mean, if you guys really want to see my progress, and hopefully if you want to grow with me, I mean, subscribe, you know, leave a like, share it, just help me out in the algorithm a little bit. But of course, if you don't, you know, you can click past, you know, if you're just using this as white noise, I appreciate it as well. But all of your guys' help helps. But that's all I really had to say. It's currently April 7th, so enjoy the April weather. I hope it's not too rainy. It's pretty nice outside. But yeah, wherever you are, if it's day, night, you know, afternoon, I hope you guys are enjoying your day. And I hope to get you guys a vlog out soon. I'll get you guys more of these videos out soon as well. These take a little bit less editing, a little bit less time to make, so probably going to see a little bit more of these as well. But I do have a few more videos lined up for the next coming weeks that I think you guys are going to be really excited about. I think you guys are really going to enjoy. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys stuck around for this long, I appreciate it again. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.